It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be building the best squad that you guys can be using right now in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, this includes the grindable cards like, level 40, as well as the ultimate grind reward. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to leave out names. And it also includes the best players that we've seen in packs. So this team is not cheap to make, nor is it easy to get in. Just kind of keep that in the back of your guys' minds as we do dive into this thing today, because it is a really, really difficult squad to get. And it all starts with Kyrie Irving. Now, the nice part about Kyrie is, let's say you play a lot of Park or a lot of Pro-Am, right? Okay. And let's say you reach level 40 over there. Well, Pro-Am and my team, or Park and my team, my player and my team, they go together. So if you got level 40 in Pro-Am and Park and any of those things, you also got it in my team, which means you get Kyrie Irving. And not only Kyrie Irving, you also get like the center Magic Johnson, as well as some other things. So, I mean, here's the deal with Kyrie. He is, in my opinion right now, by far and away the best point guard in the game. Defensively, he can at least compete and hold it down. Offensively, bar none, the best point guard in my team. So, in my opinion, definitely has to be slated there as your starting point guard. At the 2, we're plugging in amethyst Tracy McGrady. And I've seen a lot of people recently slander Tracy McGrady and say, oh, T-Mac's not that good. Well, the reason people say that is because they're using Tracy McGrady to try to be their primary ball handler. And at 6'8", that's not what T-Mac is best at. Can he get you the occasional bucket? Absolutely. I'm not saying like you can't use him at all on offense. You definitely can. But should he be your primary ball handler? Should he be the one bringing the ball up the court? Probably not. And that's why we are pairing him with Kyrie Irving to just take that pressure off of Tracy McGrady. T-Mac, you do have to lock in the set. Costs like $60 outright. Definitely not worth locking in, but is, in my opinion, a top 2 shooting guard in my team. At the starting small forward position, this one's the easiest position I've had to do, and that's Scottie Pippen. There is no other small forward in my team that's even in the same stratosphere as Scottie Pippen. Now, a lot of people are going to say, man, Ty, you're just gassing Scottie for no reason. I'm not. Scottie Pippen is that good in my team, and if you've never used Scottie Pippen, I mean, when you play against him, you should at least observe how good he is. The card is absolutely ridiculous in my team. And I mean, he has like a 77 3-ball, but it literally feels like a 90 with how smooth his release is. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous how good they made Scottie Pippen. At the 4, I'm plugging in Season 1 Pro Pass Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, you can get Giannis for $10. And again, is it worth it? That's totally up to you. But if you got him, I'm telling you, he is the real deal. 7 feet tall at the 4. Defensively is an absolute menace. The problem with Giannis is his ability to shoot the ball. I'll be the first to tell you, Giannis shooting the ball is not ideal, man. I mean, I green a decent amount with Giannis, but still, it's not enough, in my opinion, to be like, oh yeah, he is knocked down in the catch and shoot situation, because he's not. I even have bronze catch and shoot on him. I even have a 3-point shoe on him. It definitely helps, but again, it's not necessarily chicken with Giannis. He occasionally can green, but it's not the easiest to do. Offensively, mashing Giannis is OP. Defensively, he's a man with a plan. Overall, I love Giannis. Center, I had a hard time with. I'm plugging in Amethyst Bam at the center position. If you look at the stats and badges of Bam, as well as his ability to shoot the ball, I think you get the picture, man. Defensively, he is really solid. Maybe a little bit undersized. I would like to see Bam be a little bit taller, but obviously, you can't really control that. Bam gives you the ability to shoot the ball. He's got Hall of Fame anchor, I believe. He is the ultimate lock-in for the Series 1 reward, so he is super expensive to get. But if you do get Bam, you've got one of the best, if not the best center in the entire game. Now, maybe I'm gassing Bam. You guys can let me know if you have Bam down below in the comments what your thoughts are on him. But from what I've heard, people really like Bam's release. They like his ability to play defense, and just overall love him as an overall card. Moving into the bench unit, this one, the backup point guard, is one I struggle with. I settled on Amethyst Damian Lillard. With how overpowered Sharp Badge is, if Damian Lillard gets Sharp Badge, watch out. I mean, defensively, yes, Dame is, I don't want to say a liability, but to put things nicely, not very good on the defensive end of the court. But when it comes down to offense, his release is good. His movement is solid. and he has a really high 3-ball with some really cheesy shooting badges. I struggle defending Dame almost more than I struggle, probably more than I struggle with defending Kyrie. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know about Damian Lillard, I don't know what does. You do have to lock in the set for Dame. Probably not ultimately worth it. But if you get Damian Lillard, you've got one of the top 2, in my opinion, point guards in the entire game. Moving into the shooting guard position, this is one that splits the community a little bit between 2 guys. So I'm going to plug them both in. The first one being Brandon Roy. The second one being Devin Booker. Both of these guys are absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, guys, they both give you nearly the same thing on the court. Both 6'6" shooting guards that offensively are going to be really solid. But on the defensive end of it, the defensive end of the court, not going to ultimately be that great. They're both solid defensively. Brandon Roy better than Booker. But again, they're 6'6". They're not, in my opinion, better than T-Mac on that defensive end of the court. Now, with Brandon Roy, you're looking at basically, he has every badge in the game. Maybe the most badged up cards we have. Maybe the most badged up card we have in my team thus far. For Devin Booker, he's got probably the better release, and in the catch and shoot situation, probably one of the best, if not the best release in the entire game. Now, I'm not trying to gas either one of these cards. I'm just trying to give you guys the facts of it all, right? When I leave Devin Booker open, everybody greens basically every shot with him. Now, again, defensively, he's not nearly as good. If you match him up with T-Mac, T-Mac can mash him pretty well. But I do love both these cards in my team. At the small forward position, this is one I don't love. Ruby Iggy. I mean, I think Iggy is a guy that he's your pure lock, right? But the reason I like Iggy so much is that offensively, in the catch and shoot situation, he's never going to miss. Now, I like Scottie obviously more because I think Scottie's release is quicker. I think Scottie defensively is better and just all around is better. But if you want kind of the off-brand Scottie Pippen, that's Andre Iguodala. Now, again, not worth the MT he's going for. He is way overpriced, and you guys have to note and realize that. But when it comes down to it, I do like Iggy enough in my team to put him in the best squad in the game. Backup power forward position, I'm plugging in Shawn Marion, the Matrix. I mean, I don't necessarily, again, I don't love a lot of these cards that I'm going to be going over and talking about today. But when you look at Shawn Marion, okay, just from the broader context, he defends well. He has great defensive badges. His stats are immaculate. Release is quick. It is a low release point, but it is quick enough in my team that I think, it is just fine. I'm not necessarily telling you guys to grind collector level for Shawn Marion because he probably isn't worth all that. But if you do get Shawn Marion, you are probably really going to enjoy using the card in my team. Center position, I don't know about this one for sure, but I'm plugging in Amethyst Ben Wallace. This is kind of a show me spot, right? I've not played against Ben Wallace because, I mean, who's really locking in Ben Wallace at this stage? But when you look at Ben Wallace's stats, when you look at his defensive badges, I think he's tough to beat in my team. I know he can't shoot, but look at his stats, look at his badges, and tell me Ben Wallace can't play in my team. Tell me that, because I just don't know if I can believe that. I am a massive fan of Ben Wallace. Am I going to lock him in? No. But defensively, he does it all for you guys on the court. Now, if you don't like Ben Wallace, the next best option I do have at that big man center position is C-Web, Chris Webber. Again, not a card that I've personally used. I've played against Chris Webber, though, before, so I kind of know what he does bring to the table in general. And C-Web at least gives you the ability to stretch the court. So if you can't run an interior big in Ben Wallace, definitely C-Web, in my opinion, is the next best option. Now, for my 13th spot, I'm plugging in this guy right here, Joe Dumars, right? With our point guards, we've got a lot of offense, okay? You guys can see it. We got Kyrie Irving. We got Damian Lillard. A ton of offense. But we don't have defense. And so if things get dicey, I'm plugging in Joe Dumars in that 12th, 13th spot. Just at that point guard position to hold it down. Dumars has great defensive stats, great defensive badges. You want to plug Jason Kidd into this spot? I don't hate it either. I just think Joe Dumars, for me, is who I'm personally more comfortable with. Now, Joe Dumars, if you're like, how do I get him, Ty? He was from the promo pack, so if you don't have him, you basically can't get him. This is, in my opinion, the best squad that you guys can build in my team right now. Let me know who I missed out on down below in the comments to help others out. Again, a lot of these cards I personally haven't used yet, so if you're like a huge, fan of, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a card out, Amari Stoudemire, and you're like, Ty, he's definitely better than Chris Webber. Let me know that down below in the comments so it can help me out for future videos. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.